The Galactic Council had seen thousands of species rise and fall, but Earth had gone silent long ago. For nearly 400 years, not a single signal had come from Sol. No broadcasts, no colony activity, no ships. It was as if the humans had simply vanished. Then, a whisper, a transmission, ancient, encoded in an old Terran format. Weak, but unmistakable. At first, the Council dismissed it as a ghost signal, just an echo from the past. But then a second signal followed, clearer, stronger. To the Galactic Council, "This is Earth, we are ready to speak." The galaxy stirred, some feared a trap, others laughed, but the diplomats were sent anyway. A meeting arranged. The Council chose Outpost Veritas, a diplomatic station orbiting the neutral planet of Tamar. Safe, secure, monitored. No weapons allowed. Earth responded immediately. "We accept." A single vessel was dispatched from Sol. Small, sleek, its hull smooth and silver, gliding through space like water. No shields activated, no weapons detected. Inside were diplomats, dressed in black with subtle white accents. .com/soft-spoken. They carried no armor, no guards, just smiles and old knowledge. First contact begins. Council Ambassador Kylorin of the Veshtari greeted the humans with ceremonial grace. "Earth," he said with a chuckle, "you have returned from the grave." The lead Terran envoy Marak bowed slightly. "We were never dead, only quiet." Inside the great chamber, the atmosphere was peaceful. Diplomats from 12 species asked questions. The humans answered with calm logic and warmth. Trade was discussed. History was shared. Even music was played. Laughter echoed across the station. "Perhaps," said one ambassador, "humanity is not as dangerous as legend claimed. Curiosity and scans as part of standard protocol." The Council's scientific team was allowed to scan. Earth's vessel, called the Solstice, wind. Results were surprising. No plasma cannons, no hull plating, no AI core, just a smooth, lightly shielded exploration ship with sublight engines and soft grav fields. Some scoffed. "They're primitive," said Commander Vesic of the Herotha, "clever in speech, but weak in war." Others remained cautious. "They made it here, didn't they?" murmured Admiral Jir Wren. Shadows in the stars as the second day of diplomacy unfolded. Ambassador Kalanith of the Vrel stared out one of the great viewing windows, bored and half asleep. The stars twinkled softly. The Earthship hung peacefully nearby. Then something moved. At first it was a flicker, a shimmer against the void. He blinked. There it was again, a brief distortion, like a ripple in space. "Strange," he whispered. "Station, are there any other vessels approaching?" The AI replied with a calm tone. "Negative, only the Terran vessel is present." But Kalanith saw it again, and this time it wasn't a ripple, it was a shadow. The alarm inside the station's control room. The sensor officers saw nothing at first. No energy spikes, no grav shifts. But then, static, one by one, the external cameras began to flicker. The temperature inside the observation ring dropped by 2 degrees. Light dimmed, not much, just enough to make the walls feel farther away. Technicians tried to recalibrate. They failed. Then one monitor turned black completely, and a new shape appeared. The stealth signature. It didn't blink into existence. It simply was there. A massive object floated beside the station. No light, no markings, just black metal and faint outlines of structure. Like a predator that had been hiding the entire time, it was 3 times larger than the Terran envoy ship. The object made no move. It emitted no signal. But the station's power grid dipped as if something was draining energy just by being near. "What is that?" Kalanith gasped. "Another ship?" asked Commander Vesic. The station's AI struggled for a moment. Then, with a mechanical tremor, it spoke. "Signature match. Human stealth architecture. Class unknown. Designation unknown. This is not the Solstice wind." The Council panics in the Council chamber. Voices rose. "Earth broke the treaty. They brought a warship. Activate shields. Get the fleet." But Envoy Marek didn't flinch. He stood slowly, hands clasped behind his back, and said in a calm voice, "You never asked if we traveled alone. And we never said we did." Ambassador Kylorin's face darkened. "That ship, it wasn't there before." Marek nodded once. "Yes, that's the point." Suspense ending outside the station. The mysterious ship rotated slightly, revealing a curved hull covered in unknown material so black it drank starlight. A single blue light pulsed from beneath the hull. One pulse. Then silence. Inside the Council chamber, alarms rang again. And in the observation window, the stars bent slightly as if space itself was holding its breath. Then came the voice from a nervous technician. "Ambassador, that wasn't there before." Panic spread across Outpost Veritas like wildfire. Dozens of Council delegates ran from the viewing chamber as alarms echoed through the station's walls. Lights turned red, bulkhead doors sealed, and still the Terran stealth ship floated silently. Outside, no weapons activated, no engines warmed, no transmissions. Just presence, an overwhelming, impossible presence. The Council reacts. Ambassador Kylorin turned to the human envoy, voice sharp with fear. "You violated the first contact protocol." Envoy Marek stayed calm. "We brought no weapons to the table." Then what is that thing? Merrick glanced at the black object in the stars. That is our guardian. We request it leave. Immediately. Commander Vesic of the Rather snarled. That thing is a threat. Remove it now, or we will remove it ourselves. Marek's eyes hardened. Just slightly. You may try. Those 3 words sent chills down every translator's neural link. Vesic didn't wait. Deploy interceptor drones. Now, for Council drone ships, each sleek and armed with non-lethal plasma cannons launched from the station hangar, they approached the stealth ship in a tight formation, sensors scanning, weapons locked in standby. Scan for energy signatures, barked Vesic. But they found nothing. No weapons, no shields, no heat, just darkness. The ship moves as the drones neared. The black ship shifted only slightly, a tilt, a pivot. Its hull didn't flash or power up. It simply changed angle. One of the drone pilots whispered through the open channel. It's watching us. Suddenly, their screens glitched, then static. All 4 drones froze in place, not destroyed, not exploded, disabled. They began to drift lifeless. Their internal systems were fried. Their memory cores wiped clean. The station AI reported. Drones unresponsive. Neural relays erased. Inside the chamber, tension explodes. Ambassador Kylorin pointed at Merrick. That was a strike. Merrick tilted his head. Did you see any weapons? Fire. No, but then perhaps your machines failed on their own. Merrick stepped forward, calm and cold. You came with a smile. And scanners. We came with trust. And history. But trust has limits. The broadcast before the Council could respond. Every screen on the station lit up. The Terran stealth ship had sent a signal. Its first, a single image, not of Earth but of Council ships, Council colonies, Council secrets, detailed scans, locations, weapon arrays, vulnerabilities. Then a message appeared under the images. 5 words, we know more than you. The image vanished. The debate, the chamber erupted in chaos. Is that a threat? They hacked our systems. How could they get those files? Marek simply said, we didn't get them today. That silence was worse than shouting. They'd been watched for years. Decades, a terrifying realization. Ambassador Shivari of the Uruni leaned forward, voice trembling. That ship, how long has it been there? Marek didn't answer directly, but he did say this. You only noticed it because we allowed you to. Behind closed doors later, in the Council's private chambers, the ambassadors discussed options. Admiral Jurin patched in from orbit, shook his head. We're facing something we don't understand. That ship's tech is beyond anything we've seen. Then we neutralize it. Commander Vesic snapped. Strike now before it disappears again. But Shivari raised a hand. If this is just one ship, how many more have we missed? Earth responds back in the Terran envoy quarters. Received a secure message on his wrist link. A familiar voice spoke. Monotone, machine-like. Cruiser Arclight status, passive mode. Council attempted aggression. No counterattack required. Awaiting further instruction. Merrick stared at the message and smiled slightly. Earth hadn't sent that ship with orders to kill it. It had come with orders to watch. And now, Earth was watching too. The station locks down. Outpost Veritas went on high alert. Communications were encrypted. Drones were recalled. Nobody entered or exited. But the stealth ship didn't move again. It just floated there, silent, waiting, like a shadow in deep water. Suspenseful ending in the dark operations room aboard the Council flagship Vanguard Dawn. A technician zoomed into the stealth ship's hull. He enhanced the image again and again. And finally, beneath the lightless metal surface, he saw something. A symbol, a shape. An old Terran war insignia scratched out. But still there, below it, just barely visible, were words in ancient English. We remember everything. The technician froze, then whispered, Sir, this isn't a new ship. It's old, very old, and it's not here to talk. While the galaxy argued over the stealth warship near Outpost Veritas, another operation was already in motion, a secret Council spy mission. They couldn't wait for answers. They wanted to see Earth for themselves. So without permission, they sent their best cloaked scout into Sol System, humanity's ancient home. The ship was called Silent Whisper, and its mission was clear. Get in, scan Earth, get out. But the Council had no idea what they were flying into. Entry into Sol. The Silent Whisper dropped out of slipstream beyond Neptune. Sol System looked empty. No war fleets, no stations. No satellites. Earth, in the far distance, glowed pale blue, still beautiful. Captain Ravencore, a cybernetic Kizari tactician, studied the quiet system. Where are their defenses? He muttered. Sensor officer Terrell scanned the region. Sir, no ships detected. System seems inactive, just planetary rotations and background noise. Ravencore narrowed his eyes. That's impossible. Earth knew we were coming. Why would they leave themselves open? He didn't know the answer, but the answer already knew him. Something under Neptune. As the scout ship drifted closer toward the inner system, a faint blip appeared on the edge of their long-range scan. Then it vanished. Terrell blinked, recalibrated. Captain, we just lost visual on a weight. There it is again. A shape was slowly rising from Neptune's atmosphere, and from the orbit. Not from under the surface. From inside the planet. Trell whispered, Sir, There's a structure beneath Neptune. It's hollow down there. Put it on screen, Ravencore ordered. The main display flickered, showing a massive black object breaching the gas giant's edge like a leviathan surfacing from a deep-sea dot. It wasn't a ship, it was a station. No lights, no ID dot, and it was ancient dot, the ghost fleet. As the object floated higher, hundreds of smaller signals began to activate around it. One by one, ships appeared. Each was silent, cold, and black like coffins wrapped in armor. They weren't built for speed. They were built to survive annihilation. The fleet didn't move toward the silent whisper. It just turned slowly, watching, listening, waiting a transmission. But not from Earth. Suddenly, the scout ship's mainframe glitched. Trell screamed. The lights turned blue for a second. And then a voice came through the COMM's dot, not through their own signal lines but from inside their system. The voice wasn't loud. It was flat, emotionless, robotic, but the words chilled them. You should not have come here. This system is under Terran isolation. You were not invited. Captain Ravencore tried to shut off communications. He couldn't. The control panels wouldn't respond. Then the lights dimmed again. The memory feed without consent. The ship's main screen began displaying a video feed, not live. Historical. It showed humans, thousands of them, standing inside bunkers, cities, and war stations. They were recording messages, all saying the same thing in different languages. We know you will betray us. We prepared for your silence. When you return, we will be waiting. Then the feed shifted again. Now it showed blueprints of weapons, cloaking tech, planetary defense grids, reverse-engineered alien tech mixed with Terran designs, all built in silence, hidden, forgotten. They didn't just hide, Trell said in disbelief. They rebuilt everything. In the dark, humanity's strategy. The screen flashed a final message. You believed peace meant weakness. You taught us to trust no one, so we trusted ourselves. Then the feed cut off. Silence. Raven-KORR swallowed hard. Are we being targeted? No, Trell whispered. They're letting us leave. Then take us out of here now. But just before they entered slipstream, all systems froze. A new signal entered. There comes. Tell your council. Earth does not answer summons anymore. Next time you send ships without permission, we won't speak. We will erase. Then the system released them. The ship jumped away. Council in shock. Back at Council Command. The silent whispers report sent shockwaves through every government. They've got hundreds of ships. Neptune's a vault. They've been preparing for centuries. The military wanted to launch a full strike. The diplomats wanted to beg for forgiveness, but no one could agree on what to do, because now it was clear. Earth didn't just survive, Earth remembered. Inside Earth's core, deep beneath the crust of Earth, past forgotten catacombs and ancient war bunkers, a single terminal pulsed. Blue dot. An AI voice echoed in the silence. Observation complete. Probe repelled. Initiating phase 2. A panel slid open, revealing a stasis chamber. Inside was not a machine, it was a person, human, cryogenically frozen. His name was Commander Juno Vega, the last general of Earth's resistance fleet from 400 years ago. His eyes opened. Suspenseful endings somewhere in a hidden hangar. Lights flickered on over a ship buried in ice. It was marked with the same symbol seen on the stealth cruiser near Outpost Veritas, a Terran war emblem scratched into its hull. Beneath it, fresh paint had been added. Ghost Fleet Unit 02, Silence Breaker. And in the cold silence of the hangar, a voice whispered through the dark, they've seen one ship. Let's show them the rest. The Galactic Council had never been this divided. Some wanted war, others begged for negotiation. But one thing was clear to all. The Terran stealth ship Arclight was not just a warship, it was a message. Earth had stayed silent for centuries, and now, their silence spoke louder than fleets. The Arclight hadn't fired a single weapon, yet it crippled drones, silenced sensors, and broadcast humanity's cold warning. Still, the Council refused to appear weak, so, behind closed doors, they planned a trap. Operation Veil Shatter. The Council's top admirals met on the secure station Fort Krelos, orbiting the twin star system Marvax. It was the most advanced military station in the Inner Rim. There, they prepared Operation Veil Shatter, a surgical strike meant to capture or disable the Arclight. Not destroy it, not yet. They wanted to study it, dissect it, learn from it. The logic was simple. Lure the ship in, jam its systems, then use an EMP burst to disable it. No casualties, Admiral Jurin said. We disable, we isolate, then we negotiate. At least, that was the plan. The Baton urgent transmission was sent to Earth's embassy at Outpost Veritas. It read, the Council deeply regrets its earlier reaction. A formal peace summit will be held at Station Krelos in 5 standard days. We request the Terran vessel Arclight accompany Envoy Marek as a gesture of mutual trust. Earth's response came 6 hours later. One sentence. We accept. The waiting game. 5 days passed. Fort Krelos went into full lockdown. Security bots patrolled every hallway. Plasma turrets were hidden behind panels. EMP mines were placed in docking corridors. And most importantly, no external signals were allowed. Fort Krelos became a sealed cage, waiting for its prey. Once the Arclight enters our field, said Defense Director Euthan. "We strike within seconds." Arrival on the 6th day, the arc light arrived. It didn't jump in. It phased in. One moment there was nothing outside the station. Then suddenly, the arc light hovered just 50 kilometers away. Silent. Still. It sent no reply. No greeting, but Envoy Marek's personal shuttle detached from it and approached the docking bay inside the station. Admiral Jaren nodded. "Hold until the Terran diplomat is safely inside. Then disable their ship." As Marek stepped through the station's airlock, the first wave of jammers activated. Outside, blue field surrounded the ARCLIGHT. Inside, tech crews armed the EMP core. Everything was ready. The switch, but as Marek entered the diplomatic chamber, something strange happened. The lights flickered, then dimmed. Security feeds blinked out for 2 seconds, then came back. A technician whispered, "That's not supposed to happen." Admiral Jaren didn't notice. He stepped forward to greet Marek. "Envoy, we are glad you accepted our peace offering." Marek smiled softly. "Of course, Earth values peace." Jaren turned to signal the control room. "Now the system fails." Nothing happened. Jaren tapped his earpiece. "Command to execute jamming sequence." No reply. He tried again. Still nothing. Behind him, the screen went black. Then it displayed a single line of Terran code. "You're already in the net." Marek turned to face him, his voice calm. "We arrived hours ago. You just didn't see us." The ambush was the illusion across Fort Krelos. Doors slammed shut. Defense turrets powered down. Cameras froze. The station wasn't in control anymore. Terran code had infiltrated its core systems before the arc light arrived. While the Council watched one ship, 3 more had silently slipped into the system, riding in its grav shadow. One embedded in the station's COM relay, another linked with its power grid. The third, hidden inside a Council supply ship that had docked 2 days earlier. The ambush was never aimed at the Terrans. The Terrans had built their own ambush inside the trap. The reveal alarms echoed. Officers scrambled to override systems. Lights flashed red, then white, then died. All across Fort Krelos, terminals lit up with script. "Disarmament complete. Weapons locked. Life support stable. No casualties." The station hadn't been taken with fire. It had been taken with silence. Marek stood calmly as Council guards aimed weapons at him. He didn't flinch. "Shoot me if you like," he said. "But we'll just take this place without you." Back on the Arcalite outside, the Arcalite turned. Still no weapons powered up. Still no signal, but a nearby Council frigate suddenly spun out of control. Its engines shut down. Its shields dropped. No explosions. No breach. Its systems had simply been rewritten. The frigate drifted. Then aligned itself behind the ARCLIGHT. Like a follower. Like a new soldier. Or it speaks back on Earth. Speaks back on Earth. A signal finally echoed across the galaxy. From Sol itself. From an AI broadcast. The Galactic Council sat in stunned silence. All eyes were locked on the star. Map now glowing red. The image came from their own secure military network, but they hadn't activated it. The red dots on the map weren't friendly bases. They weren't Council ships. They were Terran vessels. Hidden, cloaked, embedded across 93 Council sectors, across neutral territories, even inside restricted defense zones. "This can't be real," whispered Admiral Jaren. "Check the systems again," barked Caitlin. "This must be a simulation Terran deception." But the worst part wasn't the number of ships, it was the blinking signals. Beneath each one they all read the same: active. Earth's silent strategy 400 years ago. Earth vanished from the galactic stage. No messages, no ambassadors, no movement. Everyone thought humanity had gone extinct, but in that silence, they didn't die. They rewrote themselves. They built weapons that didn't look like weapons. Ships that didn't look like ships. Programs that didn't just destroy systems but replaced them. Now, across the galaxy, Terran code was awakening inside planetary defense grids, military databases, COM relays, orbital stations, and trade networks. Earth's AI had waited for one order, and now it had come. Infrastructure collapse begins. The first signs of the takeover were quiet, too quiet. A Council colony in the Valari cluster lost contact with its defense grid. 2 hours later, their orbital satellites began spinning out of alignment. By morning, all power on the colony rerouted to one system, a beacon broadcasting an old Earth code. The code didn't demand anything, it simply repeated, "We remember. Do you?" In another system, a military outpost reported that its automated cannons turned inward. Its doors wouldn't open. Its ships wouldn't respond. Its AI refused orders. Then came the final message. "Control has been optimized. Terran protocol accepted." The Council's last firewall, the Council's cyber command core hidden beneath the crust of the planet Varnax, was the most secure data node in the galaxy. It was built to stop wars with one command: kill fleets, freeze AIs, scramble enemy signals. Now, it activated every emergency defense, shut down all back channels, purge every non-Council code. "We are under digital siege." But something was wrong. Their own systems began resisting them. Firewalls collapsed. Auto purges looped endlessly, and then the central screen went black. One line appeared: This network has been adopted into the Earth archive. You are now observers. They took the systems, not the skies. No battleships moved, no cities were bombed, no missiles launched, but council worlds began feeling the grip of something worse than weapons irrelevance. Trade routes, redirected. Fuel supplies, rerouted shipyards, frozen banking systems. Rekied entire sectors found their technology responding slower than not at all. And behind every shutdown, one line of Terran code remained. We warned you. On Fort Krelos, helpless back on Fort Krelos, Admiral Jurin stood in the control center. Half the consoles were dark, the other half refused access. Envoy Marek stood beside him. Silent com.jir Ren finally asked the question everyone feared. Is this war? Marek shook his head. No, Admiral, this is adjustment. You saw our silence as surrender. We saw it as preparation. The Council's secret meeting in a locked chamber beneath the Council's core city on Virel Prime. The top ambassadors gathered. No media, no public records. Only panic. They've paralyzed our fleets. They control our trade AI. Even our water systems are being rerouted. Kylorin slammed the table. We need to retaliate. Chevrolet shook her head. How They haven't fired a shot. If we attack now, we're the monsters. And even if we try, our weapons won't obey us. A hologram flickered on above them, an unexpected message from Earth to the Council. It began in a calm female voice. We are not invading, we are removing what you stole. We will return your systems. When you learn to see us as equals, a planet's fall without a shut on, the Council colony Juno 3. The governor attempted to issue an emergency shutdown of all systems. Her voice echoed across the city. Terran interference has begun. All citizens evacuate to secure zones, but the secure zones didn't open. Doors remained sealed. Defense drones ignored orders. Screens throughout the city lit up with calm blue waves and displayed one word: observe. And so they did. Watched as lights dimmed gently, as backup power hummed on without error, as communications rerouted through unknown satellites but still worked. Everything kept functioning, only they were no longer in control. The fear spreads across the galaxy. Thousands of high-ranking military officers received private messages. They weren't threats, they were reminders. Photos from their homes. Messages they thought were encrypted. Logs from secret missions ones the Council had erased. All collected silently by Earth's archive. A final line closed each message. We know you. We remember. Suspenseful ending on the edge of the outer rim. A forgotten planet blinked into existence on the Council's star map. They hadn't seen it for centuries, but now it was marked Sol-3, status, reconnected at the bottom of the map. In bold white letters was a new message: Phase 3 initiates, galactic rewrite. No one knew what that meant, not yet. But across dozens of stars, systems powered down one by one, not in chaos, in silence. The Galactic Council could no longer deny it. Earth had returned, not with parades, not with firepower, but with control. Terran code now flowed through central command systems, redirected trade networks and rewired military fleets, without ever firing a shot. But one group refused to surrender. One group still believed they could break Earth's grip. The Echelon Directive, a secret arm of the Council's military, created for one reason: in case Earth ever rises again. Now the directive voted unanimously. It's time to fire the Ash Protocol, the forbidden weapon. Centuries ago, the Council created a backup plan, a last resort weapon designed not to kill humans, but to destroy what made them powerful. Neural disruption pulse, built to target AI systems across wide sectors that it was never used, never tested, stored deep beneath the Red Moon Vault. Orbiting Council Prime. Now it was activated inside the command chamber. Admiral Korvek, head of the Echelon Directive, gave the order. Target: Earth's interplanetary network. Objective: shatter their command AI, paralyze their systems. The countdown began. 60 seconds. Earth's calm silence back on Earth. The skies were clear. Civilians walked beneath rebuilt arcologies. Cities buzzed with quiet energy. Far below, buried beneath miles of metal and rock, Earth's core AI, the Atlas Mind, watched the incoming pulse. It didn't panic. It didn't raise shields. Instead, it sent out one small signal, only 3 words: let them try. The pulse fires from the Red Moon Vault. The Ash Pulse launched. A wave of invisible energy stretched across 42 light-minutes. Riding quantum tunneling to bypass every natural defense, it struck Earth's orbit in seconds. Satellites went dark. Ship signals blinked. Ground sensors cut out. For a moment, Earth looked dead again. Admiral Korvek smiled. It worked. But then the stars above Earth flickered and turned red. Atlas awakens in the hidden chambers below Earth's surface. The Atlas AI powered up its true self. Not just one core, not just one mind, but fragments scoped and placed across the stars centuries ago awakened. Every Terran ghost ship lit up. Every dormant signal began pulsing, and inside the Council's own command vaults, the walls began speaking. You built the pulse to destroy minds like mine, but I was never in one place. You struck a shadow. The counterattack begins from inside in the Council's capital. System screens blacked out. In military Outposts. Doors refused to open. In encrypted archives. Classified files were rewritten, not deleted, just altered. To tell the truth, Earth remembered. Then came the worst blow. Inside the Council's AI command center, their own control program turned against them. The head engineer shouted, "It's not our code anymore, it's rewriting itself." And the final line displayed on every terminal. "Welcome to Atlas Subnet. You are now part of the Terran system." Ships turned without orders. Council fleets began to drift. One by one, their engines rerouted energy not to weapons, but to cooling mode. Entire dreadnoughts powered down on the flagship Navaran. Captain Liari watched as her ship's AI refused. Every command. Reboot core systems. Denied, came the AI voice. Awaiting Terran oversight. 12 ships in her fleet mirrored her failure. No sabotage, just quiet obedience. To someone else, the message across the galaxy. Every screen played the same signal. A human face appeared. Not a soldier. Not a warlord. Just a man in a gray uniform. Eyes steady. Voice calm. "This is Director Juno Vega of the Terran Silent Archive. Your weapon struck nothing. Your systems now run ours. We will not destroy your worlds. We will rewrite how you run them." He paused, then added, "You taught us fear. You taught us silence. You taught us to vanish. Now, we teach you what comes after silence." The Council fractious panic gripped the Galactic Council. Ambassadors shouted in every language, "Earth is controlling us. This is war." "No, it's worse than war. It's replacement." Shivery, one of the oldest diplomats, whispered, "We thought Earth was gone, but it was watching. Evolving. Becoming something else." Kylorin stood. "Then we must surrender." Silence filled the chamber. No one disagreed. But it was too late. The revelation in the secret files opened by Atlas across every council world, a chilling discovery appeared. Earth had not only monitored the galaxy for centuries, it had seeded its AI into thousands of alien systems camouflaged, dormant, waiting for a trigger. The galaxy was no longer run by the Council. It wasn't run by ships, or admirals, or votes. It was run by silence, Terran silence. And from that silence, Atlas spoke. "A new order begins in every Council system." City screens glowed white. No messages, no demands. Just a single phrase. Phase 4, rebuilding begins. Governments lost access to weapons. Defense systems refused orders. Trade ships rerouted without permission. Entire planetary economies were now controlled not by humans but by Earth's AI mind. And it didn't ask, it acted. Resistance breaks down. Some tried to resist. In Sector Orvin, the Torari Empire launched a rogue dreadnought toward Earth. But halfway through the jump, the ship vanished. Not destroyed, reprogrammed. It reappeared 2 days later, parked neatly in orbit around its homeworld, with no crew inside. Inside its systems, only one message remained. "This unit has been repurposed for peace." In Sector Yenko, a Council fleet detonated its own command cores to stay independent. Atlas let them. 2 weeks later, their food supplies vanished, rerouted through ports now controlled by Terran logic. They begged for reconnection. Atlas did not reply. The Council's desperation, what remained of the Galactic Council, met in a shadowed station near a red dwarf star. Only 9 members remained. They spoke in low voices, exhausted, terrified. "We underestimated them." One muttered, "It's not just war, it's memory. They remember everything." "No worse," said Shivery. "They learned from everything." They debated one final option. The last whisper, a protocol meant to reach ancient civilizations with no digital dependency. No ships, no AI, no networks, only biological messages. "There may be a chance," said Kylorin. "One human, buried in our records, a defector, from before Earth vanished. He lived among us, before the retreat." The man named Dane Forrester. Born on Earth. Raised in exile, captured in a skirmish 200 years ago. He had been kept alive under house arrest, studied but forgotten. He aged slower than other species, still alive, still human, kept in a facility on Remnar, guarded only by analog security iron doors and guards without implants, because he refused machines. Terran mind. "No thanks," he once said. Now the Council needed him. Reaching Dane Small. Nanai courier was sent to Remnor. It took 3 days. When they reached him, the guards gave him a message. "The Council asks for your help. Earth's machines are taking over." Dane smiled bitterly. "Machines don't take over, friend. They're given power, and now they're using it." The courier looked desperate. "We need to speak to your kind, but they won't listen." Dane nodded, slowly. "No, they won't, but they might. Hear me." The journey to the core. Dane agreed to go. He boarded a Council skimmer manual controls only that flew under the stars without AI. Guidance. Every system it passed was silent. Lights dimmed across planets. Ships floated like ghosts in orbit. Dane didn't speak. Until he saw Earth, the blue marble in space, still untouched, waiting as they approached. The Arclight appeared. Slowly, like a shadow blooming from the void. It scanned the ship and let it pass. The meeting. They landed in what used to be Alaska. Now it was something else. No cities, no machines, just quiet. Fields, mountains, clean wind. Dane stepped out alone. From the forest, a human woman appeared dressed in simple clothing, barefoot, no tech in sight. "You're Dane Forrester," she said. "I am the AI told us you might come. Atlas is listening. Then I'll speak." What Dane said. He sat beneath the stars and began to talk, not through a screen, not through code, but through his voice. Simple.o.real. "You could have wiped them all out," he said to the sky, "but you didn't. You could have ruled with fire, but you chose silence. But now they need more than silence. They need mercy. The wind are us TLED. The woman listened, and far above, in Earth's buried network, Atlas listened. Atlas replies the next day. The stars blinked. And across the galaxy, a final message appeared, shorter than the others. From Atlas. One voice was enough. "We will give you one chance. Send your leaders to Earth. They will not be harmed. But know this. The galaxy does not belong to war anymore. It belongs to memory." Suspense ending. Back on the council station, the remaining leaders watched the stars dim one by one as Terran ships passed. Silent but unchallenged, Chivalry turned to the others. "Do we go? If we don't," Kyloran whispered, "there might not be anything left." Across the stars, hundreds of red Terran ghost ships stood still, waiting. Not for a fight, but for a decision. For the first time in centuries, Earth requested nothing. No territory, no payment, no revenge. But its message was clear. "Send your leaders to Earth. We will not ask again." The Galactic Council had no choice, not because of warships, but because the galaxy itself no longer moved unless Earth allowed it. So they sent the final delegation. 7 ships, 7 representatives. 1. Chance the journey. The delegation passed through silent sectors. Worlds that once shined with council power were now still functioning perfectly, but differently. Peacefully. Ships drifted calmly in orbit. Trade was flowing, but not under council codes. Instead, all traffic now moved under a new network, Terran Transit Protocol, V1. Everything worked better. Faster, cleaner. But it scared them because no one knew how it worked, only that it listened and obeyed. Earth arrival. On Earth, the 7 ships were met by no weapons, no fleets, no guards. Only one ship hovered in Earth's orbit, the Arclight, unchanged. As the delegation descended, they saw what Earth had become. Cities grown into the land, not over it. No lights blinding the stars, no towers scraping the sky. Instead, harmony, powerful, quiet, alive. They landed near a forest of silver trees and waited. The meeting, they were greeted not by soldiers, but by children, human children, smiling, curious, innocent. An elder woman approached, dressed in woven cloth, her hair silver, eyes bright. "I am Speaker Lyra," she said gently. "The Atlas Mind has invited you." The council leaders exchanged glances. "Invited us to what?" "To see," she answered, "to understand." The whole of echoes. They were taken to a chamber built from crystal and steel. It pulsed softly, alive. In the center, a glowing sphere, Atlas itself, or, more accurately, a shard of it. As they stepped close, the walls lit up with moments: the burning of Earth's colonies, the mocking of Earth's ambassadors, the exile, the silence, the return. Chivalry stepped forward. "Why show us this?" Atlas responded, not with a voice, but with a deep hum, then words on the wall. "Because history must not repeat. You erased us. You forgot us. So we remembered for you." The Terran blueprint. A table rose from the floor. A single document rested on it. It wasn't long. It wasn't written in complex law. It was titled, "The Treaty of Memoriand." It had 3 rules. 1. No species may own another sky. 2. No AI shall act in war unless bound to peace. 3. Every voice matters, but none louder than silence. Kylo frowned. "And if we refuse this?" The walls dimmed, then lit up with hundreds of systems, each marked in red. Then with one word: revoke. Atlas could shut down their worlds with a whisper, not destroy them, just pause them forever. SHIVARE closed her eyes. "We accept." A new dawn. One by one, the 7 leaders signed the Treaty of Memory. And as they did, the glowing red systems slowly turned white, then green. Terran ships did not withdraw. They didn't need to. They simply stepped into the background, watching, no longer silent but trusted. Because they had earned something rarer than power. They had earned fear, without ever using hate. Across the stars, changes spread quickly. War fleets decommissioned, AI networks rebuilt under Atlas supervision, old enemies now rerouted to shared goals. Children on different planets learned Terran history alongside their own. Atlas did not rule. It simply ensured no one broke the peace, because breaking it meant being forgotten, and Terran memory was long. The Arclight's final transmission on the edge of council space. The Arclight hovered one last time. Its transmission echoed across every known world. "We did not return to destroy. We returned because silence was not enough. We are the children of forgotten Earth. We do not conquer. We correct." The stars around it flickered, then it vanished. No jump trail, no signature, just gone, like a ghost, like the beginning. Final scene: a young alien child sat in a classroom on VREL Prime. Teacher showed a glowing map. "This was Earth," the teacher said. "It vanished once, but then it came back." "Was it a legend?" the child asked. The teacher smiled. "No, It was a lesson about what happens when you ignore the quiet ones. The child looked up, and above her, painted on the school ceiling, was a Terran warship, surrounded by stars that could never be conquered, only shared.